Which leads us into Brian Koberlein, our friend, a senior lecturer at RIT School of Physics and Astronomy, debunking rumors about an alien civilization. Now, if I shorten this up, it was an alien civilization that grew out of Penn State. But that's not what it is. It's a research done at Penn State.
Right.
Let me just read the beginning of Brian's blog, and we'll go from there. Have scientists just discovered the first alien civilization, or is this a case of the Heffalumps and Woozles, which was a Winnie the Pooh story?
Yep. The
latest evidence for aliens says more about us than it does of them. First of all, what did the research find? They were taking a look at a place far, far away.
Yes, this is part of the Kepler satellite, which looks at stars to see whether they dim for a short period of time. And one of the reasons why they would do that is if a planet passes in front of them.
Okay.
And we've actually used this to find I think, about 3,000 exoplanets right now.
Okay. So those planets or stars, okay, planets circling stars.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
A block in front of the star.
Gotcha.
So how do we go from talking about stars dimming to possible civilization, alien life form?
Well, this one was an interesting case because normally when a planet will pass in front of a star, if you had a Jupiter-sized planet in front of a star like ours, it would dim the light by about 1%, which is actually pretty small.
Yeah.
And they came across this case where it looked like a planet passing in front of a star, but it was dimming it by over 20%, which would make it either a huge planet that we couldn't see because it wasn't giving off infrared light, or something else. And there's a lot of ideas. It may be a cluster of asteroids. It could be a broken up planet. It could be a lot of things. But it could also be something that might be alien in origin. There's something called a Dyson sphere, an artificially constructed object that would gather light from the star. And so it would block more light than we would think.
So your critique of this research is what then? That they're making a huge jump to that conclusion?
Well, no. The research itself actually says here are a whole bunch of lists, and an alien civilization is one of them, but it's not very likely.
Okay.
My thing was basically looking at, we don't know what the odds are of an alien civilization. We have a sample size of 1. In which the number of planets in which there's intelligent life. We know of 1.
Right.
And so we don't know if there are other intelligent civilizations out there. So we have no way to calculate the odds.
What do you think that says about us as a society? It seems like when we hear these myths, we want to desperately believe that there is some kind of other life form. Perhaps there is, but maybe just not how we view it. Sometimes we think of Hollywood and other alien civilization.
Yeah, I mean, I think it says a lot about who we are as a human species, in the sense that we're very social creatures. We want to go out and we want to meet new people, and we want to communicate with them. And that extends to an alien civilization. We want to meet the next new person. And so every time this kind of comes up, we kind of go, oh, maybe it'll be an aliens. Maybe it'll be someone who will be a friend or something.
You're a scientist, so you're going to approach it with a scientific approach. But what's your gut tell you? Is there, just the number of planets out there, do you believe there is intelligent life in our universe outside of Earth?
It's certainly a possibility.
Okay.
We know that the makings for life is out there. We know the type of compounds that we use are very common in space. We know there are a lot of planets. What we don't know is how common or how likely is it for life to form on other planets.
Right.
I think Carl Sagan said it best, is that either we're alone in the universe or we're not. And either answer to that question is profound.
Yeah. Yeah, that sure is. We're way too deep for you, Brian. We have to limit your visits because we can't go this deep that often.
Perhaps we can talk about the cocktail comet. No,
yeah, that's right. The one that's giving off
Yes.
alcohol, the equivalent of 500 bottles of wine per whatever.
Right,
okay.
right.
Weather, traffic, local headlines are coming up next. That's something we can kind of wrap our brains around.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by this morning.
Thank you.